Welcome back, everyone, to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960. That was a fascinating chat with George and Jill Bradley about the stories that George read to Jill when Jill was a little girl, and then to the children, and then to the grandchildren that have now been turned into books. Jill Bradley's got a really interesting background as well, and I thought it might be interesting to spend a little bit of time with her. So welcome back, Jill Bradley, to the show. Welcome back,
Thank
Jill.
you.
How are you?
I'm great,
So
thank you.
I understand that you were a model and an actress and a personal trainer and a nutritional counselor. That's quite of a varied career.
Yeah, but if you think about it, they all tie in together.
They all tie.
Right?
How do they all tie in together?
Well, the personal training and the nutrition. If you're a model, then you got to look good.
Right.
Right. So
And
that's
you're
what they
still
tell,
posting on social media quite frequently. So I guess you're a social influencer and a fashion icon too.
That's my followers saying, like, you really inspire us, because I'm an older model, right? I'm not a 20-year-old, and I do it without filters. And if I work with a photographer, I always tell them, please don't edit the pictures as much as you would like to do. I like the wrinkles. I like the lines. I'm not a spring chicken. I'm not 20. So you know what? I like to look natural. And I do post selfies, and they're like, no, models should never post selfies. And I'm like, yes, it's real life. People want to see a real person. They don't want to see a fake doll.
Right.
And that's my belief. If people don't like that, that's fine. Don't follow me. I don't force anybody to follow me. But I have so many people, men and women, that say I'm an inspiration because, yes, I work out. Yes, I watch what I eat. Yes, I have an active lifestyle. And I post myself and my dog walking through the forest, which I love to do nearly every day.
Right.
As long as it's pouring down, right? But then we just get the rain gear out. So
that's a great attitude. And you travel a fair amount as well, I understand.
Yes. The last couple of years after Vegas, after COVID, I ended up in Vegas for a little time. And then I literally got back to Canada. And then I was able to come to England because they lifted the restrictions. So I flew out to see my parents in England. And obviously then went back to Canada. But my parents are getting a lot older now. So I've made it a mission to try and get back here every kind of 6 months.
Yeah.
So they kind of like that.
Understand.
Yeah, my mom and myself, we just we got a last minute trip to Rome just for a couple of nights, and we had the most amazing time. Because you can't walk as far anymore, we just got the hop on hop off bus.
Right.
And so that's what we do. So we got it for 48 hours, and we said, okay, let's go on the bus and we'll kind of figure out get our bearings, figure out where the hotel is. And
what's the weather like in Rome in January and February?
At the moment, it was about 13 to weather, but sunny.
So reasonable.
And it wasn't that busy, so
Canadian
it was perfect.
spring weather. And not the huge crowds, I presume.
Yeah, that's right. It was perfect.
Well, let's go through some of these different occupations, professions that you've had, and give us some advice. So nutrition. Tell us.
Okay.
I actually visited my doctor just recently, and I was told I had to lose a couple of COVID pounds. They said it's the typical COVID-19 or COVID-20 that people put on, which I can't remember.
Yeah,
it was the residence 20 or something like that back a long time ago. But how does one lose the COVID-19 or the COVID-20?
Get active. Yeah, don't do the fast food, because there's absolutely no nutrients in fast food whatsoever. It was actually weird because when we were in Rome, there was so many McDonald's on every corner. I couldn't believe how much they were promoting McDonald's in Rome, and I was very disappointed because, from my understanding, Italy was always one of those healthy places to eat.
Yeah.
So seeing a McDonald's on every corner just was not, I didn't like it. But anyways, no, I always encourage people to eat at home if you can. Lots and lots of vegetables. Now, obviously, if you have sensitivities to vegetables, you can't eat certain ones, that's fine. But, there's other ways around it. So, a lot of people say grains. I'm not a fan of grains because I find that if people have sensitive stomachs, one of the first things they're actually sensitive to is grains. And people
really?
Don't understand that. I don't know if you've heard of leaky gut.
Leaky gut? No, I haven't.
Leaky gut. Okay. Well, it's kind of like we all have yeast in the body. And so it's kind of like an overgrowth of yeast, which causes all sorts of problems in the body. And I find, especially even for myself, if I stay away from grains, I have a lot better digestive issue. I don't have as many sensitivities when I eat grains. I find them very, very hard on the digestive system.
Okay. So that's
I can
what
eat,
that's bread, donuts, things like that.
that's, well, donuts are not whole grain. They're just flour. Yeah, but I find wheat these days is done very, very differently to the way it used to be done. So it can cause like almost like tears in the stomach lining, like in the
Really?
intestines.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I find if people take wheat out of their diet, another one that causes a lot of irritation and allergies is dairy. And I
Right.
know people are going to shoot me for that one because people love the dairy, but most people are lactase intolerant or lactose
Really.
intolerant, sorry. So they
And
take a
so
lactase like
I
supplement to
love ice
break
cream. So
it
you're
down.
telling me I can't have Billy Miner pie or ice cream anymore?
How do you feel after you have an ice cream? Does it go through you at all?
Yep.
There you go. You have an intolerance to it.
To lactose, to milk,
Mm-hmm.
to dairy.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Same with
But
coffee.
Billy
A lot of
Miner
people,
pies are so tasty.
you know what? If you know that you're going to be home and you're near a bathroom, then you go for it.
Go for it. Okay. Okay. What else?
So I'm not saying,
You
no,
you
I'm not
you
saying don't ever have it.
you were saying earlier, get rid of the bread. So are you a believer in like the Atkins diet strategy to lose weight?
No, you know what? I don't like diets. I really, really don't. I believe in listening to your body, and I believe in the way I do it is I'll work with somebody's diet. I'll ask them to journal what they eat on a daily basis and drink, because a lot of times people are drinking like Starbucks and Tim Hortons, all these sugary drinks.
Yeah.
Which are really, really bad for the immune system, because a lot of sugar shuts down the immune system, causes a real overgrowth of, not overgrowth, but there's too much insulin in the body and it's doing all sorts of damage. So my daughter is, one of my daughters is type 1 diabetes. She's type 1 diabetic. So I've been following her blood sugar since she was 5 years old.
Right.
So I know how many carbs are in nearly every food on the market, because I've had to count carbs for the last 20 years, 15 years. So if somebody says to me, I have rice or pasta at dinner time, so after 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, what will happen is they'll have the pasta or the rice and the body they'll skyrocket up. This is the blood sugar. So the blood sugar will skyrocket up, then it will tank and drop right down. And then 6 hours later, it will go right back up. And people say, yeah, I always wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, yeah. And then they're like wide awake. And it's like, yeah, because now the sugar in the rice or the pasta, I usually find they're the two worst indicators for that, have gone back up again 6 hours later. And that's what wakes people up, and they could have like a rapid heartbeat even because of that. And they're all jittery. It's the same as like if you have a coffee, right? You can get the jitters. Same thing if you have too much sugar. So I find a lot of people that have rice and pasta, if they have it in the evening time, they may wake up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, depending on when they've eaten it.
So you don't believe in the Atkins diet, but don't have the rice and pasta in the evening. So what, have it at breakfast and lunch?
I wouldn't say breakfast. I wouldn't even have it, because it turns to sugar.
So get rid of the rice and pasta.
The rice and the pasta.
And
Yeah.
what about bread? I love bread.
You can love it all you want, but unfortunately, again, it turns straight to sugar. Right. And then that's where all the insulin comes into play too.
And then
So lots and lots of veggies.
You told me something about cabbage for inflammation.
You can eat
What's
it.
this?
It's well, first of all, eat your cabbage because it's really, really good for you. Okay. Just make sure you cook it. So you told me that you had a broken hand.
Yeah, broken hand.
Okay. So what I've been doing with my children and myself is, if we have like a sprained ankle, if somebody has a break, my daughter had her wisdom teeth out. So we wrap it in cabbage. So we'll put the cabbage in the fridge, and then we'll break leaves off and we'll wrap. In her case, it was the wisdom teeth or the ankle. Whatever it is that you've hurt, you can have inflammation on your knees. A lot of people have problems with their knees. So we wrap it in cabbage and then you can put like a scarf or cling film around it just to hold it in place.
Right.
And that will actually get rid of the pain and the inflammation within.
How does the cabbage
Like,
get rid of the pain and inflammation?
it's just the antioxidants in the cabbage. I don't know scientifically how to do it. It's an old wives' tale from years gone by, but it works. When I had my babies, they always tell women to put it in their bras because it stops the hardness in the breasts when you're breastfeeding.
Really? So put
Yeah,
cabbage
so that's what I
in your
did.
bras, or put cabbage around your knee.
Yeah, absolutely. It works
Fascinating.
100%.
You're also a personal trainer. Tell me what the secret is
Yes.
of getting fit.
Moving. Do what you love. I know a lot of people are not fans of going to the gyms. That's okay. I tell people, you don't have to go to a gym. You just have to move. You could love to dance. You could like to swim, garden. Walking's a great one. I'm not a runner. I never have been, but I love biking outside, and I love rollerblading, and I still rollerblade. If you're on the Toronto area, and sometime chances are you'll bump into me rollerblading.
Oh, really? Fantastic. Where do you like to rollerblade?
Where?
Where? The Martin Goodman Trail or what?
Down the front there by the lake.
Yep.
Like around Sunnyside. Is it Sunnyside there?
Yep. Sunnyside Beach.
And I'll go from what's that other? So as far as you can, like at the bottom of Park Lawn there.
Yep.
Yeah, down there, and then right across the trail.
The Humber Shores. Excellent. Sounds good. So get active. Lots of people are saying that cardiovascular isn't as good as weights. What do you think about that?
No. So yeah, so when you do weights or even resistance training, what you're doing is you're breaking down tissue, and then so your body has to repair that tissue. So that's why you do get more of a burn. So once you've done the cardio training, so whether you do like biking, running, stair stepper not so much because you're using the muscles in your legs, but elliptical, yes, you're moving and that's great, but you will only burn calories while you're on that piece of machinery. If
Right.
you're using weights, you're breaking down the muscle, so it can take your body 24 to 36 hours to repair that muscle. So it's burning calories to repair that muscle after the fact.
So it sounds like you do believe in doing weights.
Oh, absolutely. I still do weights. Yeah. Or you can do body weight training, or you can do the resistance bands, the elastic bands.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything that you're using your muscles.
And do you do the lots of reps of low weights or few reps of very heavy weights?
I combine it. Since I'm older, I tend to go, I wouldn't say I go too light, but I'll put maybe one song on and I might do biceps for that whole song. It's like, I like to do a lot of classes. So sometimes, even for me as a personal trainer, I don't have that motivation to go to the gym for 45 minutes to an hour. But I mean, I tell people you don't have to. Even if you do 10, 15 minutes, it's better than nothing. And if you haven't been moving, 10 minutes is better than nothing. Right? You can sit at home in the evening and watch TV. Or if you have a bike or if you have a treadmill, you can walk while you're watching TV. You're still watching TV, but you're moving.
Yeah.
Right?
So get active.
Yeah, so there's lots.
Get active, get moving, do some weights, and get rid of the bread, the pasta, the rice.
Yeah, the
eat
heavy
lots
stuff
of
that just
vegetables.
sugar. That's right.
Lots of
Yeah, if you like
vegetables.
fish, that's great. Just what I would say for fish is just look at where the source is coming from.
Okay. And what about steaks? I love my steaks.
Once in a while.
Once in a while? What about alcohol? Wine. I like my wine.
How much?
Well, people used to say it was 2 glasses a day. Now the Canadian government is saying it's 2 glasses a week.
Yeah, I just heard a study actually a couple of days ago, and they're actually saying no, none of it's good for you at all. So
I thought the tannins in red wine reduce cholesterol.
Well, yeah, that's what they say. The grapes are better for you as well, resveratrol, right? So you know what? I just say everything in moderation.
You're a nutritionist, you're a personal fitness trainer, you're a model, you're a social influencer, you're an actress, and you don't believe in filters, and you post on a daily basis. You're an inspiration for people that are, getting up there in age. What's your secret?
I don't know. I love a positive lifestyle. I always have been. I've been very optimistic, and I've been really, really fortunate to be surrounded by a very, very positive, optimistic family. My whole family always looks at the bright side of things, and I actually never realized that there are some really negative people in the world, but because I'd never experienced that. So it's kind of like, it's very strange when you've never come across that before. Obviously now I have, but I always ask people, why would you look at things that way? And it's like, well, what if you can fly? What if, like, I love to travel. I mean, but people say to me, but aren't you scared? I'm like, no. I look at where I'm going. I pre-plan, like, the bush routes, the taxi routes, whatever I'm doing. Like, I don't go into it with a blindfold on. You have to have your wits about you. Yes. I'm not going to go to sleep on a park bench and hope that somebody doesn't take my phone. You just got to be smart. But there's a big wide world out there, and just enjoy it and love life. It's to
Positive
enjoy.
attitude, get out there and enjoy it, love life.
Absolutely. Get moving.
Get moving. Sounds like a great prescription for the weekend. That's a great way to end our week of shows, and to end our show with you. And thank you so much for introducing us to your father. Remind us, if they want to check out your father's children's books, how do they do that?
On Amazon. We're on Amazon worldwide. The first book is The Adventures of Binky, Banky, and Bonky. I think I got that right.
And it's George Bradley.
And it's George Bradley. And the second book is Binky, Banky, and Bonky Feed the Animals. And
if people want to follow you on Instagram, how do they do that?
They can follow me at Minx in Style.
Minx in Style.
Minx in Style.
Minx in Style. Sounds good. Jill Bradley, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
That's our show for tonight, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I remind you, I'm on every Monday through Friday at 6 o'clock on 960 AM. You can stream me online, even from the UK at www.saga960am.ca. All my podcasts and videocasts are on after the fact.